Good evening and welcome to the June 9th, 2025 City Council Roundtable meeting. I am Mayor Ross and tonight's meeting is brought to you live using video conferencing technology we provided by Zoom. Tonight's recording will be posted on the city's YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us. City Clerk Dean, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Benson.
Here.
Councilmember Watton.
Here.
Councilmember Holloway.
Here.
Councilmember Washington.
Here.
Councilmember Cotton. Councilmember Christensen.
Here.
Councilmember Johnson.
Here.
Mayor Ross.
I am here. Councilmember Cotton has requested to be excused from tonight's roundtable and council meeting. May I please have a motion to excuse her?
So moved. Second.
Been moved by Councilor Watton and second by Councilor Johnson. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed, nay? And it's unanimous, and the motion passes to excuse Councilmember Cotton. So we now move to our first item of business, which is to approve the agenda. And the agenda is an executive session during the roundtable. Council may have a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Councilor Washington, and second by Councilor Johnson. Is there any discussion? Seeing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? And the motion passes and the agenda is approved. So tonight we have an executive session pursuant to RCW 42.30.1101I to discuss with legal counsel representing the agency matters relating to potential litigation. Those attending will include City Attorney Burke, Interim Chief Haracy, and Finance Director Drew Boutte. An executive session is expected to last until approximately probably 6:50 p.m. and recording of the meeting will pause. We will stay in the council chambers and hold our meeting here. And then we will come back at the end of the executive session at 6:50 p.m. To adjourn. So with that, we will go ahead and pause the meeting, please. We are now back from executive session. There being no further business to come before the council, I will entertain a motion to adjourn the roundtable meeting.
So moved. Second.
We moved by Mayor Pro Tem Holloway and seconded by Councilor Washington. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? And we are adjourned. We will be back at 7 p.m.
You're safe.
I see London, I see.
Spent a day and night in Paris.
Oh, I
did. We're starting the council meeting. Council, this brings us to a regular meeting. We just completed a roundtable. Let the record show that all council is present except for Councilmember Cotton, who has been excused. And also please note, City Administrator Chambliss is not able to make it this evening due to a personal matter. So council, would you please join us in saying the Pledge of Allegiance? And Councilmember Johnson, would you please lead it?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So we now come to the first item, regular business, is to approve the agenda. Council may have a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Been moved by Councilor Washington, second by Mayor Pro Tem Holloway. Is there any discussion? Seeing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? And the motion passes and the agenda is approved. So tonight we have it's very something special. We're going to ceremonial oath of office for police officers Jaden Hall and Chase Holmes. And our interim Chief Haracy, will you please introduce this item and our officers?
Get over here. Don't bite. Okay. Mayor, council members, members of the community, and staff here tonight, I want to introduce you to our newest officers. I'll start with Officer Hall. Jaden Hall was born in Tacoma, Washington. He comes from a large family. He has 5 siblings. He's the second oldest. And he told me that a little fun fact that he just recently discovered within the last, couple of years, that he has a long lost brother that he didn't know about. He loves Mexican food, His favorite dish is quesadilla tacos. He played football at WSU, and he enjoys going to the gym in his free time and barbecue with his families. I met his family at the graduation. It is a big family. Super awesome. I actually enjoyed, his mom comes right up to me. I mean, it was awesome. His dad was thanking me after we did the official swearing in there. So awesome to have him here. So that's Jaden. Do you want to say anything real quick? So next is going to be Officer Holmes, Chase Holmes. He's 28. He was raised in Mount Lake Terrace. He's the second oldest of 7 children. So again, a large family. He went to college at Seattle Pacific University, graduated with a bachelor's of arts in English. You need to teach me how to speak.
English would come in handy.
He spent some time as an English teacher in South Korea. He is a member of the Army National Guard. He's a combat engineer. And he is currently in the Officer Candidate School program in the National Guard. So he can be commissioned as a second lieutenant. He was hired here in November, and he's again just graduated academy and starting to get his feet wet and learn the ropes. So, you have anything to say real quick?
Nothing, just thanks for the opportunity.
So we'll go one at a time. Why don't you, Jaden, go up with the mayor?
So I, repeat after me. So I, Jaden Hall,
I, Jaden Hall,
have been duly appointed to the office of the police officer of the city of Snoqualmie, Washington.
have been duly appointed to the office of police officer of the city of Snoqualmie.
Do solemnly swear that I will faithfully and impartially perform the duties of my office as prescribed by law to the best of my ability.
Do solemnly swear that I will faithfully and impartially perform the duties of my office as prescribed by law to the best of my ability.
And that I will support and maintain the ordinances of the city of Snoqualmie and the laws and constitution of the state of Washington and of the United States of America.
And that I will support and maintain the ordinances of the city of Snoqualmie and the laws and constitution of the state of Washington and the United States of America.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So I say your name,
I, Chase Holmes,
having been duly appointed to the office of the police officer of the city of Snoqualmie, Washington.
having been duly appointed to the office of police officer of the city of Snoqualmie, Washington,
Do solemnly swear that I will faithfully and impartially perform the duties of my office as prescribed by law to the best of my ability.
do solemnly swear that I will faithfully and impartially perform the duties of my office as prescribed by law to the best of my ability,
And that I will support and maintain the ordinances of the city of Snoqualmie and the laws and constitution of the state of Washington and the United States of America.
and that I will support and maintain the ordinances of the city of Snoqualmie and the laws and constitution of the state of Washington and of the United States of America.
Excellent. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Right. Next is a presentation by WashDOT with an update on the diverging diamond intersection and State Route 18. And we do have, we'll have them introduce themselves, but David Raisback, Kathy Milati, and Kathleen of, who's the project manager for ACON. So we'll turn over to you, David.
Mayor Ross, council members, City of Snoqualmie, thank you for having us. My name is David Rasback. I work for WashDOT Communications, and I'm the Public Information Officer for this project. With me is Kathleen Mahan, who is the project manager for ACON on this project, and Kathy Milady, who is a communications consultant for ACON. We appreciate the chance to come in here and give you an update on what's going on just up the road here for you. Next slide, please. So, as you know, this is the I-90 SR18 Interchange Improvements Project, and it is estimated to complete late in 2025. The summer of 2025, we're going to open up the Diverging Diamond Interchange, and this fall, we plan to open SR18, widen that to 2 lanes in each direction between I-90 and Deep Creek. So that's about 2.5 miles that will be widening to 2 lanes in each direction. Next slide, please. So as I'm sure you know, we had a pretty large closure just recently, end of May, early June. We closed SR18 under the I-90 bridges for 5 days. During the closure, we accomplished a lot. We built the southern end of the Diverging Diamond Interchange. Work included drainage, electrical, pavement removal, curbing, stamped cement, which you can see is the red island that goes up the middle there, paving, lane striping, we shifted lanes, we installed traffic signals, and the sign bridge that you see there going from the island to the right-hand side of northbound SR18 there. Next slide, please. So with the help of Kathy and Kathleen, we kind of put together some numbers that kind of show how big what we accomplished in those 5 days was. SR18 was closed for 130 hours. We had a maximum of 120 people working on the site at any one time. So there was a lot of people out there, a lot of equipment. That's basically why we needed to close SR18, is just there was a lot of things going on out there. We installed 2,700 tons of asphalt, and just to put that into frame of reference, that's about 450 elephants. We installed 250 cubic yards of concrete during the closure, which is about 25 concrete mixer trucks. We painted 10,000 linear feet of striping, which is enough to fully stripe more than 6 football fields. And we installed 600 linear feet of stormwater drainage pipe during the closure. Next slide, please. So what did all this get us? We got a signalized U-turn. The signal is working now so that traffic that is headed northbound on SR18 can now turn around and head south toward Auburn. We returned the left turn pocket for southbound traffic to enter southeast 104th Street. And as everybody's seen, we built the islands for the southern half of the DDI. If you look at it from a drone or a helicopter or something like that, the southern half looks like a DDI now. Next slide, please. So we got the southern half done. Now we need to do the rest of the DDI. So what are we planning for this? We're looking at another 5-day closure under the SR18 bridges. We're still working on when that'll be scheduled, but it'll be within the next several weeks. We will not schedule it over 4th of July holiday weekend. It'll probably be after that. The detours will be the same as we used during the last closure, using eastbound and westbound I-90 and looping around at the nearby exits. And the key point about this is when we reopen from this closure, we'll be in the Diverging Diamond configuration. So we will have the Diverging Diamond going. Still some changes on the southern end as we widen out to 2 lanes in each direction. Next slide, please. So elsewhere in the project has been busy as well. During the week we were closed, we also opened 2 of the 3 new bridges that are part of the widening. Lake Creek was already opened earlier in the project, but we opened the new 2-lane bridge over Raging River and the new 4-lane bridge over Deep Creek. Westbound traffic was shifted May 28th, and eastbound vehicles joined them on June 1st. On the photo on the right, the reason I chose that, it's actually not, traffic is not on the bridge there, but I wanted to show the existing lanes of SR18, and that's what we're working to remove that now, which will allow us to open up the fish passage and wildlife crossing beneath that new bridge. Next slide, please. So what's coming up? We're currently working on the Deep Creek excavation that began June 2nd and it is expected to take up to 19 straight days to remove the old SR18 embankment over Deep Creek. No traffic control is needed for that. That's happening off. The dirt you see piled up there is on the existing lanes of SR 18, which are not being used. Traffic is moving on the new westbound lanes. The north end of the DDI, we're looking at a 5-day closure of SR 18 under the I-90 bridges. Date is still to be determined, but expected in the next several weeks. And again, it will not be over the 4th of July holiday weekend. And then further out, we're looking at a closure of SR 18 to put the top lift of pavement on westbound lanes. We don't have a date for that either, but we're looking at sometime in August. And our contractor is coordinating with WashDOT Maintenance, which does our annual closure of SR 18 there. So we're looking at trying to do those the same weekend. So SR 18 will only close the one time. And then obviously we'll also have other ramp and lane closures as needed. And I don't have any specifics on that. We just need them when we have them, basically. And that concludes my presentation. Does anybody have any questions that Kathleen or I can answer? Yes,
Mayor
sir.
Pro Tem Holloway.
So, well, that was a perfect slide for it. I guess when the lease closure, how, are there closures that might occur in August? I think we have the PGA tournament, which is a national event coming. So you may need to do what you need to do when you need to do it, but you might take into consideration, there's the tournament going on. Bring in people from outside.
Absolutely.
region
No,
in here.
we will watch those dates and avoid them, as you say, if possible. It'll be in our first choice to avoid those dates, same as we're avoiding the holiday for 4th of July, because we know it's a very busy travel weekend, and we know that's a very busy.
That intersection
Very
is
busy.
backed up on 4th of
It's a
July.
very
On a good
busy-
day, yeah.
Yeah, it's a very busy weekend for you, for this community as well. Yes, sir.
I'm just kind of curious, the cadence of the closing for the next 5 days, is it going to be over a weekend or is it Monday through Friday sort of closing?
We're kind of looking at the same type of closure we had the first time, which was a Thursday night to an early Wednesday. So it will be over a weekend, but it will not be the entire work week. I think it was 3 work days that were affected when we had the last closure. Yes, sir.
And I have a daughter who will ask, there were no actual elephants used in the paving.
No elephants were harmed. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. Excellent job. I pass you guys all the time. You're always out there doing a really, really good job for us. So we appreciate it. Sorry, lost my question. That's not good.
That was good stuff, though.
Yeah. Well, I'll defer. and
Oh,
I'll think
absolutely.
of
We'll
it.
come back to you.
Counselor
Yes,
Johnson.
sir.
Yeah, so I've got three. First thing is, first point is, I also appreciated the units of measurement because the units are very difficult for some people. I was disappointed I didn't get anything in washing machines though.
I got it.
We'll work on the next one for you.
With regard to striping, there have been projects that I have seen in the past where when the striping is done, the clear remnants of the former striping are still present. I'm deeply concerned about a diverging diamond where not everyone knows how those things work.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that the striping will be abundantly clear as much as possible.
Absolutely. Kathleen, I'm going to invite you to speak to that, get the contractors, what they're going to do and everything on that.
So what we will have.
He's talking to the mic.
Yeah, Mike.
Oh,
thank
sorry,
you.
sorry. The final striping, we are gonna do all the final paving at one time. So it'll go into the DDI after the north closure. It'll be in the DDI, it'll be in its temporary striping, but in the final striping location.
Mhm.
Cause you have to wait 28 days for the HMA to cure.
Okay.
And then you go and you put the final striping, it'll be on top of or in conjunction with the temporary striping locations.
Okay.
So there shouldn't be the ghost striping.
Yeah,
That you're
there
used to
you
seeing.
go. There's our terminology. Next thing is, what is the final plan for 104th Street and access in and out of there?
We're still working on it. This is a temporary,
Yeah.
but we will have a pull out or turn lane into it from southeast, and then traffic leaving southeast 104th Street will have to turn right, head north towards Snoqualmie. If they want to go back to Auburn, we have the U-turn and signal there for them to do that.
Okay. Then my last point is the bigger one. This is kind of like the hardball question is the other side, 99th. Myself and many of our citizens are very concerned about a stoplight going in right there. Before we had the temporary on-ramp, most folks on the ridge who have to commute to work to the west would sit there for 15 minutes every morning waiting for the opportunity to get onto the freeway. And it was so frustrating having that way station right there, not being used. And wouldn't it be great if we could just use it? And then we could, and it's been absolutely wonderful. It would be, not sure even what word to use for it. It would be frustrating if we had to go back to those days after having years now of not having that annoying stop. And then there's the added concern of what would a stoplight do to the DDI if cars coming off of 90 are trying to get onto the parkway from westbound I-90, then they stop there, it backs straight up into the DDI, and now we've wasted millions of dollars on this thing. So yeah, I'm very concerned about how that intersection is going to be used and the effects that that's going to have on traffic, especially to our citizens.
I can tell you our project limit stops basically at that interchange, or that intersection, excuse me.
But it affects you.
It does. And Kathleen can probably talk better about the final design of what that'll look like than I can.
So 99th.
Right.
Our project stops on the south leg. We don't put it in, we don't put any kind of light in there. We don't touch it. It's gonna look the way it is when we're done as it is now. That's.
So then I
somebody
guess
else
it's a
might
washed out problem
do
then,
that.
because
Yeah.
if this is gonna be backing up onto, through the interchange, if a light is put in there, that becomes a problem for the flow of traffic on the highway.
Yeah, I don't know where you're coming with the light. Is that,
It's a proposed development.
yeah, that is not us.
Yeah.
That is a different.
I would like to get an answer at some point then, because that would have a significant effect potentially on the highway and the interchange.
Councilor Washington?
And whose project is it to put the light in there?
Snoqualmie Valley Hospital,
Okay.
or Snoqualmie Valley Health.
Health, yeah.
Yeah. Health.
Okay. And do you have a timeline for that, that they are looking at yet, or
Yes.
you've heard of?
Probably within the next year and a half
Okay,
maximum, yeah.
okay. I'll have to do some digging on that, but I will email the council with what I
There's
find.
One more point on that
Yeah.
is, over on, hope I get the right exit, I believe it's Westlake Sammamish Parkway. You come off the freeway when you're westbound
Mhm.
on I-90, and they've got some roundabouts. Traffic seems to generally move pretty smoothly through there without the need for any stoplights.
I'm a firm believer in roundabouts as well. Having been the PIO for a number of roundabout projects, seeing as how our right-of-way ends south of that, I'm not sure that would be our call. That it'd be something we'd have to look into on that.
Yeah.
It'd probably be a joint venture. But I don't know that answer, and I'll have to look into that for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilor Washington?
Okay, I remember my question now.
Great.
Okay, so concerning the last closure, the 5-day closure, I believe that, correct me if I'm wrong, 18 westbound, part of it was closed intermittently. And so the only reason why I asked the question, are we looking at something similar in this upcoming closure? Because we didn't have the backup on the Preston exit. Usually that we get when we do that, when we close that down, there's usually this huge backup getting down to Preston. And I think that was because westbound 18 was closed.
What was closed were both eastbound and westbound SR 18 underneath the I-90 bridges. So you could not go from the south side of I-90 to the north side without following a detour.
Right.
And so then if you're trying to get from Snoqualmie to Auburn, you had to follow the detour down to Preston Falls City and loop around and come back.
Quick follow-up.
Yeah.
It appeared on Google Maps that south of I-90, westbound 18 was closed. Is that inaccurate?
There should not have been a closure
Okay.
there unless it was traffic incident related.
Okay,
Which I know we had one eastbound. I'm not aware of any westbound during the closure.
thank you.
You bet. Thank you.
Councilor Christensen?
Just piggybacking on Councilmember Johnson's question about 99th as well, just so that you're aware, because I don't know whether you are or not, but that is also the access road. Not only does it service the hospital, but it also services Echo Glen Children's Center.
Mhm.
So just making sure that.
Yep,
you know,
yep. I've
obviously wanna
communicated
make
with
sure that
them.
there's
I've
access in and out
tried to
there.
communicate with them ahead of the closures that we have, so they're aware of what's going on at the interchange.
Okay, thank you. But in
Thank you.
terms of like, if there's an eventual light and whatnot as well, then we may need to have, emergency services coming in and out
Mhm.
as well.
Absolutely.
So I know this is sort of changing subject. Do you have any information on, I think there's gonna be some resurfacing on State Route 202 near the falls, from Fall City to the falls?
That is not a project I'm working on, but it is in my group. I know that project is out for ad now, which means a contractor hasn't been awarded. Once one is awarded, we'll start to see what their schedule is on when they'll be working on it, but it'll be nighttime work, mostly with lane closures.
Okay, nighttime, that's good.
Yeah.
Counselor Johnson?
One more thing is, with the former configuration, there was a pedestrian path that went through the interchange. How would pedestrians get through? I know it's a weird spot for pedestrians to get through, but some people do.
No, absolutely.
So what's the current path that or what's the new path that they would take? Is that still there or what?
There's a new path. It is actually it'll be on the west side of the diverging diamond. You can see some walls and there's a built-up path there that people will walk on to go underneath the I-90 bridges. The fish will go on the east side, swim along the east side on the open air channel. Pedestrians will be able to use the west side.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
So-
you.
Do you have any other questions? We really appreciate the presentation, and you guys have been very good about communication, especially up front. So letting us know about when the potential closures are coming up, and I think even, called each individual mayor, because I received a phone call from you one day, so we really appreciate all the communications, and then we take that information, our Dana McCall, our communications person, puts it out, so it's been very helpful, and we're really looking forward to having this completed, so.
We appreciate your partnership and support during this. We agree with you. This will be a good change once we get it done here this summer.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so next item, this time we'll provide time for residents to comment on items not on the agenda. No online public comments will be accepted during the meeting. Written comments are encouraged and may be submitted in person, mail, or email to cityclerk@snoqualmiewat.gov. But before I read the few ground rules, it seems like most of the public has left. Is there anyone within the council chambers that will be providing public comment? Seeing none. So our public comment is now closed. And we move on to the consent agenda, which contains approval of the city council meeting minutes dated May 19th, 2025, May 22nd, 2025, and May 27th, 2025. Approve the claims reports dated June 9th, 2025, AB 25-063, selecting Herrera for NPDES Phase 2 permit support. AB 25-065 for 2025 firework stand approval for Impact Ministries for Safeway. And then AB 25-066, 2025 fireworks stand approval, Impact Ministries, and Lot 213 Railroad Avenue Southeast. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Councilor Watton and second by Councilor Washington. Is there any public comment regarding this item in the consent agenda? Seeing none. Any discussion? Seeing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? And the consent agenda passes unanimously. So we do have someone from public that did arrive. Did you have any public comment? Okay. Moving on to committee reports. Is there a report from Public Safety Committee?
Yes, there is. We're getting a big new red fire truck on June 14th, and I hope you join us in helping to push that thing into the firehouse. It's a long time in coming, and it will
Have an
be,
engine?
it will be beautiful. No, it's ceremonial only, but it does have an engine. So I hope you join us.
First committee report for community development is AB 25-036, resolution amending SR1, mixed use final plan conditions of approval and development standards. Councilor Washington, would you please read the introduction and motion?
Yes, Madam Mayor. Over the past several years, city council discussions occurred regarding the issuance of retail waivers for businesses on Center Boulevard associated with Snoqualmie Ridge 1. The area is regulated by Snoqualmie Ridge 1 mixed-use final plan. Conditions for approval in the MUFP and associated development standards should be amended in order to complete amendments related to Snoqualmie Municipal Code 17.37.040, waiver of special use regulations. Proposed motion, move to approve resolution 1719, amending two conditions of the Snoqualmie Ridge 1 mixed-use final plan and Snoqualmie Ridge 1 development standards.
Is there a second?
Second.
So motion by Councilor Washington, second by Councilor Watton. Is there any public comment regarding this item? Seeing none. Councilor, do we have any discussion, or would you like to hear from our Community Development Director, Mona Davis, to answer any questions? Seeing some heads nods. Yes.
Yes.
Please. Come on up.
Yes.
It's you. You're
Yes,
the one.
me? You're up. We love hearing from you.
Good evening, council. Good evening, mayor. So as the resolution stated, we passed the ordinance that amended chapter 1737 last month. And this is more of a formality to go into the Snoqualmie Ridge mixed-use final plan and do the amendments of some of the conditions in the final plan that would then cross-reference to the code so that it, both the downtown and the property up on Center Ridge would fall under the waiver process. So I noticed in your packet that there might be more than one map, and that was, I think that's just the nature of the way that the system works possibly, but I just want to draw your attention to, it's just the one map that would change the Center Boulevard. We wouldn't be applying the overlay to anywhere else up on the ridge, and it will not be called a zone. It's just a retail overlay district, so. If you have any specific questions, I'm happy to answer.
Councilor Johnson?
Yeah, so first thing is we'll deal with zoning later. It's gonna be a big thing. The first thing was that if I'm understanding correctly, we are deleting two of the conditions, condition 4 and condition 5. I understand that correctly? Okay.
Yes.
And that what this essentially does is make what we did 2 weeks ago apply to the ridge, or at least to center.
Yes,
then-
because we have to update the development plan in addition to fixing the municipal code.
And the situation on center was the genesis of this entire project. There's that.
That's true. Any other comments or questions? Mayor Pro Tem Holloway?
So, just a little set in my head. Existing, we've got, well, let's just talk the ridge. Minimum retail use is 100%, but there was a 120-day good faith period under which they could show good faith to try and fill it and then come ask for a waiver. The change will make the minimum retail use 90%
Correct,
and no waiver beyond that.
correct.
So, all right, I'm still having issues because I don't have a crystal ball that goes out 20 years that says 20% is good for the next, or 90% is good for the next 20 years. And making law is like making sausage, and frankly, if you see black and white sausage, don't eat it. So I'm having a hard time with a black and white saying no possibility of waiver. 20 years, I don't know, there may be conditions under which, in order to fill out storefronts, we may want to dip below that 90%. So I'll probably be outvoted, but for that reason, I'll vote no tonight.
So Counselor Watton, and then
And
Counselor Johnson.
just in response to Mayor Pro Tem, I think there's a little bit of concern on some of us that are similar, but this was also brought forward through the Planning Commission, through the Economic Development Commission as a recommendation. I guess the one offset to it is it's a little bit aspirational, I'll say that, because right now it's kind of inconsistent. It's only the corners up on Center Boulevard. And if you put that together, I believe it's somewhere like today, 75%.
That was
Somewhere
the
in
last
there.
number that,
Yeah,
I think
somewhere
we
in there. So it is kind of raising the bar a bit. And, we can always go back and change things, but what we did not want to do is have one single person on staff sign off on this, and it has no reflection on our current or even our past community development directors who've all been wonderful. But I think it's just kind of having that legislative oversight that was expressed through those citizen groups. So just to kind of put things in perspective. So I will be supporting this.
Counselor Johnson,
Never mind.
Counselor Christensen,
I'd just note too that, and it was very helpful to see the comments and the comments and questions and the explanations as well, in terms of going through and seeing how some of the questions and other concerns were handled. It was helpful to me to see that, the residential and commercial property owners were notified in that section as well, and they did not come out, it looks like, based on the notes that I have in front of me, with any opposition to that. So I suppose if they had concerns about being able to fill the spots, that they would have come forward. So that's helpful.
Counselor Benson,
I have similar conditions to, or concerns to the ones Councilman Holloway brought up. Just that this kind of agenda bill, it's long-term, and if we look at the last 20 years and how commerce has changed just in the last 20 years, I don't know that that rate of change is going to slow down over the next 20 years. So I'm a little bit concerned that maybe we're trying to hold on to a kind of retail that we wish would still, when I was a kid, I went to the Redondo Mall and it was amazing. It was the most wonderful, and there should be great malls, but they're gone. And so, I'd love to hear a comment on that.
Counselor Johnson,
Yeah, there are definitely parts of the country where you go and the malls are a ghost town. You go to downtown Bellevue and the place is hopping. So it very much depends on where you are and the kinds of economic situation of the majority of the people who live in the area as to how thriving a retail area can be. And there are plenty of thriving retail areas, tourist areas in Washington. You go to downtown Leavenworth, places hopping. Port Townsend, places hopping, and how walkable it is. So yeah, I think that we can have a town like that. I think that that is something that does exist, as long as we have the kind of I want to say residents, but the kind of area, economically speaking, that we live in here.
Counselor Christensen,
Yeah, I was just going to say, part of the concern here too is if we don't act, then we're going to lose the minimum number of retail options that we have on Center. And then we're going to be in a situation where none of them can thrive because there's only like 2 places to go to, and then people stop going, right? So I think part of this is making sure that we're prioritizing retail so that people will continue to come and patronize the existing businesses there, and that we will have the opportunity to have new ones come in as those spots overturn. So I think that this is actually going to be more helpful than, risking having an empty mall. But if we continue to allow the waivers, then maybe we do end up with that, where it just is mail order vitamins or something else that, doesn't directly benefit any of our residents here. And it also doesn't contribute to the tax base in the same way. So for that reason, I'll be supporting the vote.
Any other comments? Seeing none, let's go to a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay?
Nay.
So there's 5 votes yes and 1 nay, Mayor Pro Tem Holloway. And so the resolution amending SR1 mixed use final plan conditions of approval and development standard passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further report for Community Development Committee?
None at this time, Madam Mayor.
Is there any report from Parks and Public Works Committee?
Splash pad opened this weekend. I saw a couple kids there.
The couple.
Did you go at midnight?
It was amazing. And I would, I was there over the weekend as well. And, I was there on opening day, which was hopping. I can tell you on Sunday afternoon, there were triple that number of people enjoying the splash pad. So that's exciting.
Yes, it is. Councilor Johnson?
So just anecdotally speaking, I saw an awful lot of kids just all around town still wearing their swimwear after having visited this, or maybe before, visited. Not sure why else they'd be wearing swimwear in our valley. But yeah, patronizing various businesses. I think that people go out to the splash pad and then they decide to go out for dinner, go out for ice cream or whatever else. So yeah, I think that anecdotally speaking, there's a good chance that we're going to have a lot of good benefits to our business community.
I agree. Councilor Benson?
I will say that one thing that I think we will need to address at some point, and I haven't gotten to talk to Director Hamlin about this yet, but there is a lot of creep into the sports fields of the patrons of the splash pad. And I think we do need to protect those sports fields as they are used for field sports regularly. And there's a limited number of them. So I know that there are talks about picnic structures to go around there and all kinds of cool stuff like that. But we may need to talk about ways that we can address the sports fields and making sure that they remain available to sports.
Right. Councilor Johnson?
One other thing, Mayor, is justifiably, I did hear some parents talking about how hot it was and how much sun there was. And I have heard rumors that there may be shade structures that will be coming.
I think the rumor is correct. Yes.
Very good.
Nothing further to report.
All right. How about any report from Finance Administration Committee?
No report.
Right. Next item, Committee of the Whole, is review of the council work plan and council priorities. And I believe each chair was going to talk through the council to your work plan. So we have that up. So public safety. Councilor Watton?
I'm going to defer to Councilmember Christensen because I was not able to attend last meeting. Unless nothing was discussed, but I presume something might have been.
Well, we went through and we received updates from staff about where things were, obviously with police and fire. I don't know if the department heads would want to briefly do that. I didn't know that I was going to be on for this one.
Oh,
We're supposed to.
Do you want to defer to next council?
Sure.
Defer to what?
Defer to next council.
Next council meeting.
Or we can hear from the chiefs if you have any specific questions regarding any of those items that are listed up there.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
Okay.
Defer to next council meeting.
Okay,
Okay.
You want to defer to that
well,
one?
we'll move on.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
but Finance Administration?
We also had a briefing, what you see is items on here. So there's multiple discussions going on about fee for external services provided to external organizations. Those discussions will go on. Big effort for the finance will also be our ERP system. We're starting to see some of that roll out, more work to be done, which will keep Drew very busy. Usual finance stuff or reports, audits, and et cetera are some focus areas we're working through, as well as some things like P card for efficiency. Utility rate study, which we're just partially went through, yet one more segment to go. Other options are looking at our revenue structure as if, and are there more optimal tax fees or ways of calculating tax? Or is there some tax leakage in some areas that we need to look at to make the revenue more balanced, more applicable to services provided through the city? Right. Those were the high points. We can get into discussions if you've got any particular items. I guess one other one, just to be aware, we are going to do the internal cost allocation plan. So those internal services, we'll go through, through that again, and how that will affect all the other organizations for, HR, finance, IT, the internal services.
Great.
And that's it for me.
All right, thank you. Parks and Public Works?
Yeah, we got a great presentation from Director Hamlin and from Mr. Gamble, and I think Jeff was going to summarize that for us all in a 3-minute version. Was that the plan? That was the plan, right?
3 minutes. That's what you said.
Okay, all right. It was a great, I don't mean to edit it that much. It was a great presentation.
Oh,
You're making it longer.
that's exactly how many minutes I planned for. So yeah, you'll see on the work plan, good evening, council. You'll see on the work plan, there are 2 different shades of colors on this. The darker shade represents the construction activity. The lighter shade represents things like planning. Sometimes these are programmatic, so the program just keeps going after the construction period. Sometimes there's, additional work following construction. So, like I said, planning and design is a huge part of many of these projects. So I just wanted to touch on a few projects that we're going to be doing this summer. Primarily, you'll notice, 2 things here that are just completed. So 384th sewer line project and the splash pad, those are recently completed, minus a couple little things. Splash pad is obviously, I think the splash pad caught us all off guard. We knew it was going to be busy, but holy mackerel, we did not expect that. That just threw us for a loop. And so we still have some tweaking to do on that to get that thing, I think, in good conditions for days like what we had over this weekend. But it sure was good to see that many people enjoying that facility. Wanted to touch on a couple projects that we're going to be doing this summer that we discussed. So water reclamation phase 3, that is the main portion on the sewer plant is completed. And now we are transitioning to the Kimball pump station, and that work will begin, I think, this Friday. I think we were actually, or maybe it's Monday, but the contractor will be mobilizing and we'll be beginning that work. We have the Sandy Cove Bank restoration project, which we just got word today that is approved, although we have not got the official word on it yet, as far as like the release from Army Corps of Engineers. So we're planning to do that work this summer. We'll be bringing that to council here soon before we get started. We have the River Trail project, which will go to bid next week. So that project will be getting completed this summer as well. The Class A water reservoir is underway. We have just a very slight delay because of a woodpecker, which has taken up residence in the wood, which we have to wait for him to, let the baby birds fly away before we can get that project started. And then, those are the main projects that we're going to do this summer. And then we're also going to do some paving. And Hind just came back today. She was her first day back. And so we're ecstatic to have her back, and we're going to move forward on some paving projects. These paving projects will try to incorporate several things. We're going to take advantage of the fact that we have these programs. So we have the sidewalk improvement program, we have the pavement management street resurfacing program, we have the environmental habitat restoration program, urban forestry, and we have the Kimball Creek riparian zone. So what we are going to try to do is combine some of these projects that we have into single projects. So we're thinking about 2 paving projects, which will have elements of stormwater improvements, habitat restoration, and sidewalks. And that way, we can save money by lumping these projects together and then, doing them under one mobilization. So trying to be as efficient with residents' money as we can. I think that's about 3 minutes.
Great job, great job.
Hey, thanks.
By the way, that 384th just looks incredible. It looks like, you're gonna end up at the Emerald City when you get to the end of it. It's wonderful.
Thank you. Counselor Johnson?
Yeah, just one question about Sandy Cove.
Yes.
So did the temporary structure survive the winter? Did it do its job?
It
or-
did.
Okay.
It did remarkably well, although the protective measures that we put in there are rather shabby. I don't want to go another winter without it.
Right.
Right. So if we can't get this project done, we got to do something to shore all that up. So if we have to wait till next spring to start this project, which is possible, we can do that. We could, because it's a little bit late in the year to bid that project, right? We're already in June. The earliest, the in-water work window starts in mid-July, so July 15th through middle of October. That can be extended, but you can't really extend it because that's when the rainy season starts. So by November, we have to be out of the river and we have to be off that bank because, once the flooding starts, we can't be down there. So if we can't get to construction this year, then we'll have to do something. And I don't think it's going to be a terribly expensive thing. It'll just be more like going in there and patching up what, like the jute mat, the erosion control matting that covers that embankment. We'll have to go up and kind of tuck that all in and stake it all down and just hope we make it through another winter. Yeah, that's a challenge.
Thanks.
Thank you. Next item is administration and our, actually, like I said, mentioned City Administrator Chambliss is not here, but we did review these, I think, during F&A. Basically staffing, recruiting, there's some positions that are being recruited right now. ERP HR module, they are going to be starting that in July and hopefully have completed in a couple months, and that's through our human resources. Personnel policy update, those are almost completed. The unions are reviewing those right now. Training's ongoing, wellness and safety committee's ongoing, a strategic plan. They actually were consulting, they were at the splash pad during grand opening and we're getting input from residents that attended, so. And then information technologies, there's just a lot of major things that are going on, lots of improvement, like with the Wi-Fi upgrade, computer security audit, server upgrades, fiber undergrounding at Tokel. So lots of different good things that they are doing. Community development. Councilor Washington?
Okay. Thank you. So Mona, we probably should have you come up here. I'll start just in case there are questions. We have quite a few things in the pipeline there you can see. I'll just kind of start with some things that we completed this year. Code amendment on the retail district overlay and waivers. We also were able to complete a grant application to FEMA for funding to reclassify CRS and LOMR, which is pending federal action. And we successfully closed on and acquired 2 properties in the floodway for the potential Riverwalk project. So I'll pause there if there are any questions. Okay. So what we're currently working on and looking to complete by the end of the year, we're looking to finalize growth target reconciliation process and obtain certification on the comprehensive plan periodic update. This will also include a cleaning up of the formatting and incorporating the climate draft element into the comprehensive plan. Also looking to finalize and adopt critical area ordinance updates and complete code amendments for wireless regulation, historic preservation, code enforcement penalties, and the PW development standards. And we're looking to adopt the transportation impact analysis standards also, starting this summer to be completed this fall. Adopt revised historic downtown color palettes by resolution. And so the thought there is we're opening up the color scheme to make it more broad-based, more options for the downtown businesses. We're looking to develop SOPs, so standard operating procedures around permitting streamlining, okay, and fee schedule implementation. So I'll kind of stop there. And are there any questions? No questions. We have some other projects that are ongoing. The Prairie Loop and Trail design, future construction of a Meadowbrook farm, the annexation strategy study. So that continues to evolve, as well as the mill site design standards. The other here, affordable workforce housing development. Actually, at this point, I want to pass the torch over to Councilmember Watt. And do you want to give us an update where you and your team are?
Thank you, Chair Washington. Real quick, this is a parcel that we've been talking about. It's 9033. It's much longer than that, but we just shortened it to that. And that's on Snoqualmie Parkway, right below Habitat for Humanity. It's approximately 0.99 acres. It has a little topographical challenge to it in the fact that it slopes, but it slopes favorably, as I'm being told, for the way that the water needs to drain. It's just other things need to be pushed up the other direction for like sewer connection, small things. So we did get 2 RFQ proposals in. We took a look at them. We're kind of scoping those because we want to make sure that they have the size, the feel, the scale of what we would find acceptable for those of us who live here. And on that committee, that special review committee, is Tim Locke. He specializes in affordable housing development. He lives here in Snoqualmie, and the other is Jonathan Pearlstein. He's served for 6 years on Habitat for Humanity, and he's a local real estate agent or broker that has a background in kind of land use or legal policy. But what we're trying to achieve at the request of the council is the highest and best use for workforce affordable housing. It is a 14-acre site. It's pretty large. So this only takes up a very small portion. There's some challenges to it. But the other project that is similar, that also came through the Housing Task Force that we were a part of, is 2230 Main Avenue in North Bend. And when the staff looked at it initially, they said, okay, it's 0.4 acres and you can probably get 15 units on there. Well, the proposal came back with 40 units with on-site parking and surrounding parking as well. So sometimes when you push things out for others to take a look at and make a run at it, you come up with a better product. So we're going to track that. We're also looking at another one. It's called 30 Bellevue. Because of the slope being kind of similar, some of the challenges there, and that's on church property over in Bellevue. So we're going to pursue talking with some other developers and see what we can glean out of it before coming back to the council with more specifics. So ongoing, but again, what we're trying to achieve is workforce housing reaching somewhere around that 60% AMI, which is challenging to do in our area, but very, very much needed. And we're making sure that we're using publicly owned city property for the highest and best use. So that's where we're at right now. we'll be back in touch. And Director Davis has been working hard, pinging our potential suitors to have a discussion so that we can further flesh that out. So that's that report.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Wadden. Very comprehensive, as usual. Great work. And that's all we have for community development at this point.
Excellent. Thank you for the update. Mona. Thanks. Next item is legal, and most of these are ongoing. Obviously, we have our city attorney, and she has, is developing her department and division. Reviewing municipal code, the North Bend Police Services Agreement, that's ongoing. And support fire union negotiations, which is ongoing right now, and support all ongoing city projects. So we're happy to have her. So that is the end of our work plan. Any comments or questions regarding that? Seeing none. Move on to the mayor's report. And of course, the big topic is the grand opening of the splash pad. I think the turnout just kind of exceeded everyone's expectations. It was just amazing. I think we saw a lot of Snoqualmie residents, but we also saw a lot of visitors from outside the area. So I think there was advertising in Seattle kids. And so it's kind of a great ad, and there was lots of kids that came out here. And thank you to the Parks and Public Works group, and also Patrick Fry and Mike Chambliss. There's a lot of hard work that went on. There's, they're like been testing this for like the last couple months, every nozzle, every button, every sprayer. And then several of them are now certified pool operators, so that when children are using the water is safe and clean for our guests. So it's still ongoing, but they've done a great job. So I think that deserves an applause. So also at the grand opening, we had our Parks and Events Commission, and they're very excited about the splash pad, but also community center expansion and the pool. So they offered to have the booth that was there. So they were there along with the YMCA, and then right next to them was Burke Consulting, and so they just had overwhelming positive comments regarding about the pool. Most of it was like, when are you going to build it? And then I actually spoke to a young girl who offered to do a bake sale to help earn funds to fund the pool. So I think there's this kind of, the turnout for the splash pad kind of underscores the type of turnout that we would have for a pool. It's amazing. We talked about firefighters earlier, so they have the special open house coming up on Saturday, June 14th from 11 to 3 to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the Snoqualmie Fire Station. Community members can take tours of the fire station, can meet firefighters, see the engines and ambulances up close, enjoy refreshments, and then we're actually doing at 2 p.m. the traditional new engine push-in ceremony, where the Snoqualmie firefighters will push the new engine to our fire station. So I think it'll be sitting outside for a little bit. It arrives later this week. Okay. Coming Friday. Yay. Good. That is good. And to the residents, please be sure to fill out these surveys. If you received a little card in the mail, you can go online and fill out your survey, or the other option was you're also receiving a copy of the survey. So please be sure that you fill it out. And starting June 15th, all residents have an opportunity to provide their input as well. So we use the surveys for quite a few different things. And so we hope that everyone will provide their input. A couple weeks ago, I attended the Senator Ramos's memorial, and Mountains of Sound Greenway provided Douglas fir saplings in his honor. So I brought one back, and we had our urban forest group. They planted it with care at the Cottonwood Forest, which they said is a perfect spot where it will grow and thrive for generations. And so that forest is not as easy to get to. So we're also planting a majestic sequoia in the Sister City Park, which is just right behind us. And we will actually have a commemorative plaque that will be installed at the base of it, honoring his legacy and everything that he's done for our community. So we will let you know when we plant that and and put up the plaque. So that's my information.
Mayor, sure.
Yes,
Can I
Mr.
just
Johnson.
mention something about that?
sure.
That we also do have a new state senator for the fifth. There'll be Victoria Hunt, and a new state representative as well, filling Victoria Hunt's seat, Zach Hall.
That's right. Thank you. Moving on, is there any agenda item, I guess any commissioner committee liaison reports? In them? Okay, and department review or reports are in the packet for your review. And I guess the next item is an executive session. So next we have executive session pursuant to RCW 42.30.1101I to discuss the legal counsel representing the agency matters relating to potential litigation, lasting approximately, how much longer do you think we need? 15 minutes?
15.
15?
Right.
Okay,
I approve.
we'll try 15 minutes. Those attending will be City Attorney Burke, Interim Chief Haracy, and Finance Director Drew Boutte. And no action is anticipated. Following conclusion of the executive session, a recording of the meeting will cease. Council will adjourn directly from the executive session and not return to open session. City Clerk will be informed of the concluding time, which will be reflected in the meeting minutes. And so we will actually go until 15, so it'd be about 8:20. So with that, we will stop the recording and we will stay in the council chambers for our meeting. So, thank you, everyone.